Welcome to our SASDiary for Son of Nor number 92. As we are working more and more on the endgame content that we would like to keep secret for now, I think it's a great opportunity to dig a bit into the history of Son of Nor. I am revisiting the three game-defining features, telekinesis, terraforming and elemental magic, and see how they evolved over the course of this project. We'll have a bird's eye view on the past dev diaries to get a coherent big picture. Last week we had telekinesis, watch the episode if you missed it. Today we are going to have a look at terraforming. Terraforming was the second core game mechanic that we planned for Son of Nor from the early days, besides telekinesis and elemental magic, and it is probably the most stable feature throughout the development of the whole game. Look at this early tech demo we created in 2011. Already then, sand behaved very naturally, piling up in natural ways and flowing around obstacles even. Also, the algorithm we used to achieve this basically stayed the same since then. Only the implementation changed. In those days, we were still eager and young and, of course, like many new developers probably do, had written our own mega awesome super game engine. We had total control over every aspect of the game, and it was very cumbersome to work on Son of Nor in a team, because we lacked editor tools that you inevitably need if more than 2 people work on a game. But some kudos to us anyway. The engine was based on DirectX 11 and worked very smoothly, I have to say. It was a Windows-only game though, for obvious reasons. See here some early footage of tornadoes. They did look extremely cool, I have to say. And this was 2011. But we had to give up on our engine because developing the tools we needed to work on levels, effects, scripting and making it cross-platform would have been impossible for us. Back then we were only about 5 people and simply could not afford all the effort it would have taken to roll our own. We looked at several off-the-shelf game development kits, including CryEngine and the Unreal Dev Kit, but finally settled for Unity because it was the most flexible and cost-friendly option for an indie studio. But the transition did not come without challenges. One major challenge in transitioning to Unity, for example, was making the terraforming work. Let me explain why. In almost all games, terrain is not made to be changed. Enemies need to calculate a path to your location, a path around obstacles, hills, etc., which costs a lot of CPU power because it needs to be done for every enemy unit on the map in every situation. To speed things up, you usually do a trick. All walkable surfaces are calculated in advance. Enemies always know where they can go and where they can't. In Son of Nor, because of the terraforming, the terrain changes all the time. Where there was a passage before, there is now none, or the other way around. With every frame, the game needs to inform enemies about the state of the terrain. Technically, this is an enormous burden on the computer system and the reason why in many games the terrain stays static. And so, also Unity is not really optimized to work with a dynamic terrain. We had to bend Unity in various ways to make it work. Just think of all the stuff the engine now needs to do. Calculate new paths, suddenly the line of sight is blocked by a pile of sand, which is a feature. You can hide from archers in combat, for example. But the archers in turn need to recognize it and go somewhere else where they can shoot at you again. The technology behind the sand flow of terraforming and making it work smoothly in Unity is pretty advanced. No wonder we had to put our mastermind Julian behind it, who has a master in quantum physics. No kidding. Not that he would need it for terraforming, but it can't be a bad thing. The algorithm behind the sand behavior is a bit of a crown jewel of our studio. Even though we literally showed some parts of the math behind it on whiteboards during our Kickstarter campaign video. Did you pay attention?
The heat equation is somehow distributing big amounts of heat over a bigger area.
We also had to fight with performance issues, so we had to break up the terrain in Unity into small squares to keep terraforming calculations local. We had some issues in the past, as you can see here, where the terrain would break up. We have since taken care of that problem. We also fought with this problem that suddenly occurred when we made terraforming multi-threaded to spread the load of calculations over multiple CPUs. But once we had terraforming in place, we could also use it for other things but terraforming actions. For example, make a crater when you shoot a rock into sand, or when you shoot a fireball, and when you cast wind magic, and other very useful things. Okay, let's now look at how terraforming can be used in-game. Although the feature itself stayed stable during the development, we did find more and more uses for terraforming, which makes it a powerful and versatile tool. Let's look at some examples. Pile up sand to overcome obstacles and reach places you normally could not. When you terraform below enemies, they lose balance, giving you a small advantage and time to think. Things you can't lift with telekinesis, you can move with terraforming, as terraforming applies much more force. This will be important in some of the puzzles. Or destroying things. See this building? It has cracks. I wonder... Uh-oh. Hide behind the sand so you won't be seen by enemies. You can use this to sneak and avoid a fight. Or use it as a shield in combat to avoid arrows and attacks. Terraforming is an awesome feature and we hope you'll have a ton of fun discovering what it's capable of in action-packed fights and mind-bending puzzles. And this concludes our historic look at what happened with terraforming in the past 3 years of making Son of Nor. Next time, we'll have a look at magic. Don't miss it! If you're interested in Son of Nor, an early access version of it is now available on Steam. Get it there! And that's it for this week. Tell us what you think in the comments or in the forums. And make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, share it, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Twitter to stay up to date. All links are as usual in the description below. Thanks for watching. See ya.